Hey, what's up guys? In this video, I'm going to be showing you 5 different ways in which you can make money today. My name is Nhlakanipho Ntombela and welcome to my financial education channel. If you're new to the channel, this is where we talk about property, but today specifically, I want to be talking about 5 different ways in which you can start making an extra 1,000 rands, possibly even up to 5,000 rands every single month. And at the end of the video, I'm going to be giving you some tips and tricks in terms of how to identify your strengths so that you can actually start to monetize off them. Without wasting any time, let's jump right in. The first one is going to be garage sales. So what do I mean by garage sales? I mean actually go to a garage sale and start purchasing items that are underpriced and then reselling them. Right, so let me just take a step back and show you exactly how to do this. You can go onto Facebook Marketplace, you can go onto OLX, and you can just Google garage sales near me. Once you've done that, it'll give you a list of garage sales that are going to be happening around in your area. And then what you do is you go to the garage sale and you identify items. When you go to the garage sale, make sure you bring cash. Right? Bring as much cash as you're possibly willing to spend and separate that cash into your pockets. So if you're wearing a pair of jeans, put some money in this pocket and put some in the back pocket, right? Once you've done that, the first thing that is very important for you to realize is that when you're purchasing these items, you're purchasing them with the intention of reselling, which means you need to purchase them below a price that they normally would go for, which means you need to negotiate and you need to understand what are those items actually selling for. You're going to identify appliances, furniture, books, many different types of items and see the ones that you think are possibly able for you to resell. So let's say you find a book or you find some item of furniture that you might be interested in reselling, then actually go onto Facebook Marketplace and OLX and Gumtree and see what that item is on average selling for. Once you've found that this appliance is selling for 500 rand and the owner is trying to sell it for 500 rand, you need to try and negotiate it for a price below 500, so like 350 rands. So negotiate as hard as you possibly can, and the more items you're going to be purchasing, it's going to make your negotiation much easier. Once you've negotiated the price of this item that you've identified, what you need to do is to flip it. And how you flip it is by re-putting it on Facebook Marketplace, on OLX, on Gumtree, but for a price that is less than what it's average selling for. So you're gonna look at an item and say, okay, it's selling for 500 rand. I need to negotiate and try to get it for 350 rand so that I can sell it for 450 rand. That way you are selling it below what it's worth so that you can try to get a quick sale as much as possible and at the same time make a profit. Do not underestimate your ability to go out there and start negotiating a price for something, because the person who's selling it is clearly willing to sell and they want to get rid of a shitload of things. So they're not going to mind negotiating here and there for certain items, especially if you're going to be purchasing more than one item. The second way you can make some extra income is Airbnb. So let's say you're staying in a 2-bedroom apartment, 3-bedroom apartment, 2-bedroom house, 3-bedroom house, and you have some spare space in your apartment, right? So instead of having that apartment bedroom just vacant with the guest bedroom, expecting a guest once every 6 months, actually start using that extra bedroom so that you can start generating an income. And how do you do this? You list it on Airbnb. Let me give you some tips for Airbnb as a person who's actually done it. The first thing I'll say is make sure it's always clean. The kitchen and the bathroom and the area in general needs to always be clean so that you can get good ratings, so that you can rank higher for Airbnb. Right? And then another thing is never actually negotiate on the side. Even if someone wants to negotiate a lower price on the side of Airbnb platform, do not do that for your own safety, because if that person does not pay you, they trash your apartment, there's no way in which you can find them because you've now negotiated on the side and Airbnb has absolutely nothing to do with it. Airbnb is a really good way to start making some money on the side, especially because you just list the property and Airbnb does absolutely everything else for you. You just need to make sure that you take really good pictures of the place. And there's a lot of lighting. When you do take the pictures, take as best quality pictures as possible. If you have access to a camera, make sure that you use the access that you have to a camera so that you can use the best quality possible photos you can. I do know that I made quite a few thousand rands actually when I was doing Airbnb, and I really enjoyed it. So what's nice about it is that you can always just cancel it. You can always just take your listing off and then put it back on when you are ready. Unlike having a full-time tenant, in the room next door. You can't really kick them out whenever you feel like you want your own space. But if you do feel like you want your own space for a certain weekend, you can take the listing off for that weekend and make it unavailable for anyone to book. So that's what I really enjoy about Airbnb. It's always up to you when you want to make money. So the third strategy you could implement is rent to rent. This is where you get an apartment that you're going to rent out. Let's say you get an apartment or a house for 3-bedroom house for 7,000 rands a month, and then you go and you re-rent it on a room by room basis at 3,000 rands per month per room. So if it's 7,000 rands a month and you're renting 3 rooms by 3,000 rands, you'll be making a profit of 2,000 rands per month, because your revenue will be 9,000 and then your expenses will be 7,000 rands, right? So now what you need to identify here is an area where there's young professionals or an area where there's students. This can work really well. And if you furnish the apartments, furnish the house, you can even start charging a bit more than 3,000, maybe 3,500 rand. And if you don't have money to furnish the apartment, but you really want to furnish it, you can always just lease the furniture until a point where you can afford to buy the furniture, and then you can now actually start charging 3,500 rand per room for this furnished house or this furnished apartment. And what's really nice if you get a house is that there's usually a garage, and you can convert that garage actually into a place where someone can live as well. Obviously, you need to make sure that it's in livable conditions, but you can start charging 2,000, 2,500 rand for someone who would be living in the garage area, if possible. It obviously needs to be in a livable condition, but if you do clean it up and you do speak to the landlord about converting the garage into a bedroom, you can definitely do that as well. And that's something that's very important, is for you to be transparent with the owner of the house, is that you need to tell them what your strategy is and what you intend on doing. They can't just hear about it from neighbors or something like that. So what will this need you to understand? It will need you to understand the rental market and the potential clients that you'll be having in the area. You really need to understand how much can you possibly charge for a room, because if you estimate 3,500 and it's not possible to charge 3,500, do you see that you'll find yourself in a problem somewhere down the line? So find an area and find the potential tenants that will make you happy. An area that I know it would work really well in is an area that's highly populated with students, for example, Auckland Park or Braamfontein in Johannesburg. If you do find an area like this and you find a house that would meet the conditions, paying 3,500 rand, students pay that all the time. Paying 3,000 rands for a room, students pay that easily all the time. Young professionals as well. So it's not really overestimating the rentals that you could potentially get in the area. And what's really nice is that if you prefer not to convert the garage into a bedroom, you can use that as a laundry room. So now you're starting to put some washing machines there so that people can do their laundry for a fee. So now, do you see that the potential 2,000 rands that you could have made could be even more, depending on how often the people do their laundry? It's obviously going to be dependent on that, but this is another source of income that you could make. Maybe it might not need to be in the garage. Maybe there's some storeroom that is in the house that you could use to generate that extra income. And if there isn't space like that, you could just offer the service as an additional service to say, hey tenants, I know you live here and you're very busy. Students are always studying or partying, and young professionals are always coming home tired, and on weekends they're partying. So you could just offer them the service of doing their laundry for them. It makes it really easy for them and convenient, and it also puts extra money into your pocket. So that's the rent-to-rent strategy. Hit me up in the comments below if you think that any of these strategies that I've mentioned so far are something that possibly you could do, right? Also, don't forget to subscribe to the channel. It does really support me and I really appreciate it, right? Let's move on to the fourth strategy. Wholesaling of property. Now, this is a topic on its own, and I know you're going to have many questions in terms of how to do it. So hit me up with all your questions in the comments, or DM me on Instagram, or DM me on Facebook as well. So wholesaling of property is a simple concept. You can do it whether you have a lot of money, whether you don't have money, whether you have a lot of debts, and whether you're a student or whether you're not a student. This is definitely something and a strategy that anyone and everyone can do. It's basically you obtaining a property, finding a seller of a property that is really motivated to sell their property. What you do is you find out what is the average market value in the area of properties that are similar to that motivated sellers. So let's say the average market value of a 3-bedroom house in the area is 600,000 rands. You need to try and find a way to negotiate that price to 500,000 rands. Once you negotiated the price to 500,000 rands, you sign an offer to purchase with the owner of the property, and you start remarketing this property as your own, because now you signed the offer to purchase. You start remarketing it at 550,000 rands. The goal here is for you to sell the property below market value and still make a profit. Remember, if the market value is 600,000 rands, you're basically selling a bargain to someone out there for a profit. You don't need any money. You don't need any type of like special skills to do this. You just need to be able to identify a motivated seller and be able also to identify what is the average market value in this area, and then find a buyer for the property. And then the lawyers will do the rest, the banks will do the rest, and you get your money at the end of the day. If you do have more questions about this, do hit me up in the question section below, in the comment section below, and then also DM me on Instagram or DM me on Facebook. I also have a coaching program where I specifically have taught people how to successfully wholesale property, and I do have a few students who are successful in this strategy. So I definitely do know it works. I've done it myself. I know other people who do it, and I definitely know that it's something you can do as well. Now, last but not least, you could do affiliate marketing. This is where you sell someone else's product on your platform, let's say Instagram or Facebook, for a percentage commission. Let me make it in an example of exactly how I personally did it. What I did was I decided on a product and I created a Facebook page, I created an Instagram page, went onto ClickBank and identified a whole list of products that I potentially would want to sell. And then they give you a ClickBank link, your affiliate link, where someone clicks on it, and if they make a purchase, you will earn a commission based on the product, based on whatever the agreement is with that person who's selling the product. So what you do is, now what I did after this was I went onto Fiverr. And I actually purchased the content that I was going to post on my different social media pages so that I could actually promote this product and get people interested in it. The product that I was promoting was Mindset. It was a product on mindset and motivation to keep you motivated. And what I did was I went onto Fiverr, and Fiverr is a platform where it's a marketplace where people can go onto, a freelancer specifically can go onto, and they can promote their services. This is actually another way you could make money, is to list your services on Fiverr and then start selling those services. I'm going to be breaking down a bit more how you can do specifically the ClickBank way, right? So when I went onto Fiverr, what I did was I purchased 500 motivational quotes. Purchased 500 motivational quotes, I think for 120 Rand. And after purchasing them, what I did was I went onto my Instagram page, and every single day I would post 3 or 4 posts relating to the content that I just purchased. I'd post it, and then I'd engage with the audience. I'd engage with other similar pages. I'd follow other people so that they can follow my page as well, and they can see me and recognize my page, which was speaking specifically to motivation and mindset. And what happens is people start engaging with your page, and then they see the link in your bio, they click the link in your bio, and they might be interested in the product, and then they purchase the product, and you earn a commission on that product. Do you see that it's actually something anyone can do? Because creating a Facebook page and an Instagram page is free. I went onto Fiverr and I purchased some motivational quotes for like 100 Rand, which was 500 motivational quotes. And you could do it with any other product as well, that you decide, you know what, I'm not really someone who's a content creator. Go onto Fiverr, find someone who's creating the content, purchase the content from them, either in video format, or you can do it just pictures, and then post that content every single day on your page and create awareness and create some sort of audience for the product that you are promoting. And then people naturally will click on the link in your bio, and then they'll go and purchase the product as well. This is really possible. Anyone can do it. It does require a bit of time because you do need to respond to comments, engage with other similar pages, follow people so that they can actually see you, and not in a spammy way, but you're just engaging with the audience and you're trying to get as much traction as possible. So this is definitely something you can do, and you can do it starting today. So that's the 5 ways in which you can start making money and actually start making serious money if you do push and you are consistent with the application of the strategies that I just gave you. Something that people don't realize is that you always need to work towards your strengths. And I do believe that we all have strengths and talents. It's just a matter of identifying them and monetizing them. One thing that I've taught myself how to realize my strengths is to actually be open-minded and start asking my colleagues, ask your friends, what are you good at? You'll start realizing things that they mentioned that you didn't know that you were good at. Some of them you will know, but make a list of everything you believe that you are good at. Make a list of all the things that your friends told you that you are good at, and then also make a list of your weaknesses so that you know where you can improve and start working actively on that to improve it. Because once you've identified what your strengths are, you'll be able to easily monetize them, because you'll start thinking of ideas. Okay, I'm really good at X, Y, and Z. How could I potentially make some money doing that? And then you can just go onto YouTube and say, how do you make money when you're good at X? It really is that simple. And then YouTube will give you all the answers that you need. Start thinking about the times when you were younger, where you'd get into trouble for doing certain things. Maybe those certain things that you got into trouble for doing are actually your strengths. Things that you got scolded for doing are potentially something you were really good at from a young age, but it was just suppressed because it's frowned upon in society or frowned upon at that specific age and when you were doing it. So start identifying your strengths so that you can actually start monetizing off your strengths, because the different strategies that I've just showed you might not be something that you are passionate about, might not be something that you enjoy doing. So it's going to be really difficult to keep going at it if it's not something you enjoy doing. I know with the affiliate marketing thing, I stopped it completely because I didn't enjoy the constant comments and having to engage and having to do all of that. I really didn't enjoy it, and I felt like my time would be better spent doing things that I do enjoy. And that's when I started zooming in specifically on property, because I realized that this is what I like doing, this is what I enjoy talking about, so that's what I zoomed in on. And it's never too late to start, so make sure you start today, tonight. Make sure you start tomorrow. Whatever it is that you need that is preventing you from starting, just make sure that you start, right? So anyway, that's it from me. Thank you very much for watching this video. Make sure you subscribe and like the video, and I'll see you in my next video. Cheers.